Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're joined by Heather of Fabuloso. Hello Heather, how are you?
Hi Crystal, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. So have I pronounced the name right? Is it Fabuloso?
That is right, yes.
Lovely. So how did you come up with that name?
Yeah, so I just love a pun. And I actually spent some time when I was younger. I spent a bit of time in Italy. I spent a year in Italy, and obviously Fabuloso sounds quite Italian. And I actually had a boss who, whenever I did good work, which was obviously all the time, he used to say Fabuloso. And so yeah, I just like the word. And you know, with the sewing pun, I just
I just realized that now that you've said it, Fabuloso in Italian, I just thought it was fabulous and so together, but Fabuloso is even better. So thank you for pointing that out. Whereabouts are you, Heather? Where are you based?
So we're in Oxfordshire, so between Swindon and Oxford.
Oh, lovely. And is it an online company or is it bricks and mortar?
We are online, so we have a little shed in the garden, and that's where the printers are. That's where everything happens. I mean, it is really small. 2 people and the printers can barely fit in it.
Oh wow! And what do you sell? What do you offer in your store?
So we offer sewing pattern printing, and there's quite a few people that offer sewing pattern printing now, but what we do is we print on lightweight paper, which was really important to me when we were setting up. It was really important to do that lightweight paper because it's easier to store. It's easy, you can trace through it. I mean, I was just cutting something out and, you know, just sort of flipping the pattern pieces over. It's just still so easy to see the markings on the other side. It's better for the environment because you've got less paper that you use. It's easier to pin. I mean, if you've got something with a pattern on, you can actually see the pattern. You can see, you know, so you can avoid putting, like, you know, daisies on your boobs, or you can deliberately do that if you want. But you know, so for all of those reasons, that's why we do that.
And can I ask, what's the difference between normal paper, your paper, and tissue paper?
Yes, so we're sort of somewhere in between. I've heard us sort of described as the Cinderella of paper because it's definitely not tissue paper. It's a lot sturdier than tissue paper, but it's considerably more lightweight than the GSM or grams per newspaper that you'd get from most companies who do pattern printing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. That is actually a unique selling point because I have used other companies in the past and they have always been the normal sort of A4 printer paper. So that's lovely to know that you do the lightweight paper, which is, as you say, easier to pin, easier to see through, easier to trace, and better for the environment. Which is great. Can I ask why pattern printing? Why start a business pattern printing? Where did that come from?
So yeah, I'm gonna probably answer a couple of your questions at the same time here. So, at the start of the pandemic in 2020, John sort of suddenly, so John's my husband, he runs the business. I just do social media, so you get me instead of the person that actually knows what they're doing. But his job just sort of completely stopped. He had no redundancy, no furlough, and on top of that, one of our daughters has got cystic fibrosis, which is a lung condition, and so it meant that we were really nervous at the start of the pandemic about going out. And so whereas normally you go, not got a job, might just go and you know, get a job in Tesco's or something, because obviously they needed staff then. We're like, well, you can't really do that because we've got to keep Lara safe, because she, you know, we don't know what impact COVID would have. Of course, it was all really new then. And I was doing some sewing, and I sort of ran downstairs and I said, why don't you try this? This is such a good idea, and there's so many people starting to sew now. And so we looked into it, and the lightweight paper is really important to us. I've got a bit of arthritis in my fingers, and I find it really hard to pin a heavier paper. And so we spent a few months, sort of from June to September, overcoming the problems. So, which was there was a bit of engineering and sort of mechanical work to actually get the printers working with the lightweight paper, sourcing the paper, which was also not easy. So there were lots of problems to overcome before we were able to open. My daughter, who's now away at university, she's 19, she built the website.
Wow.
So you were going to ask about staff. So we've basically got Holly, who's 19. That's why pattern printing, because I mean, John's in the past, he's sort of done some mechanical stuff, some engineering type stuff, but also a lot of customer care. And there's a lot of what he does is looking after customers, because when you start sewing, you don't really know about how to print a pattern or what you're doing. I never knew. And I remember being absolutely clueless. And first pattern that I had printed, I actually had it done by the reprographics department at work. I worked in a hospital, and I knew nothing about the scale box, for example. And it was all out. So it's really really important to sort of make people feel that they can ask questions. And he's learned a lot about sewing and pattern printing and things, and obviously I've helped him in that direction. But primarily it was because he can do the mechanical side of it.
I see. And where did you source your machines from? Is it obviously an industrial A0 size printer?
We sort of get them from specialist companies.
And but they're your paper?
Old.
Oh, okay.
The paper comes from abroad. But the machines are quite old, so they are quite difficult to sort of maintain and keep going.
So another pandemic business. I've spoken to so many sort of fabric store owners, and they're sort of and even sewists actually. I started during the pandemic. I had nothing to do. I needed to, and I started a business, or I taught myself to sew, which is really, really amazing. So out of it was such a big tribulation, wasn't it, for us, this whole COVID thing? So at least out of that, lots of, new businesses have arisen, lots of new talent. People have learned to, to do new things with their lives, which I think is an amazing sort of silver lining, of this whole COVID business, isn't it? So you've been running now for how long? 2 years?
We started in September, October 2020, really, but the idea was sort of born in about sort of May, June 2020. So 2 years now.
And did you ever think growing up you wanted to own your own business, or did John ever think he wanted to own his own business growing up?
I mean, John's always been really quite keen on having his business. He likes to be the boss, but for me, no, absolutely not. I mean, I actually work for the NHS, and I very much appreciate my paid holiday, and being able to just go, what, I'm not around this week. If I'm sick, then okay, I have to catch up, but it's not the end of the world. Whereas when you've got your own business, it's really tough. And you've got to pay your own pension, and going on holiday is really tough. So
So what's your, if you don't mind me asking, what's your previous work or your current work background?
So I'm actually a qualified accountant, and I work in the NHS. So I manage high cost drug contracts in NHS England. So John's done a lot of sales type roles, he's also worked for Honda and just other local places.
Lovely.
Really.
So your books for the business must be spick and spam.
Well, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you? Yeah, but just like
go on, sorry.
Just like John's too busy to pimp hands for me.
Oh.
I'm too busy to do his accounts properly.
It's turned to a grudge now, hasn't it?
I mean, I do the payroll.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know, Heather. So as you know, this is a sewing vlog, and one of our mainstay questions is how and when did you start sewing?
Yeah, so I asked for a sewing machine for my 40th birthday, which was nearly 7 years ago now.
No, I was just going to say that was quite recent.
I think it... Oh, you're too kind. So it was probably having seen the sewing bee, and I think I wanted to sort of make bunting or something out of my children's old clothes, just for like so I could save some of those memories. I've never done that, but my mum became very ill and sadly died not long after I was 40, and so it was sort of an escape for me, and I just really love doing something creative. There's nothing in my day-to-day job really that enables me to sort of do that, have that creativity, and so I just really enjoy that that part of it, and feeling like I've learned something. If I put a zipper in properly and I go, oh, that's the best one I've done. Well, jersey neckband, it's just so satisfying.
It is. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your mum. But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think sewing is such an amazing avenue to release your sort of creativity, isn't it? And when you've done something, it's just, and when it looks like something you've bought from the shops, you just think, wow, I made that, how amazing.
Yeah.
So can I ask, do you have a favorite make to date at all?
My favorite make is probably also my biggest fail. So I made I made this absolutely gorgeous red Sicily slip dress, and I mean it's just stunning, and I'm so proud of it. But she thinks it makes her look fat. She doesn't like it. So it's not only my favorite make. I mean, I spent quite a lot of money on the fabric as well. It's Lady McElroy sort of satin, and it's beautiful red color, and it sort of shimmers. It's stunning. But yeah, it's a complete fail because she doesn't like it, and so she's got prom a sixth form ball this summer, but she doesn't want to wear it. So I'm really sad. So yeah, that my favorite make is also my biggest fail.
But does it fit her, or does she think it doesn't suit her, or does she think it doesn't fit properly, or?
Yeah, she thinks it doesn't suit her body shape.
Oh, I see.
So I think it's on my Instagram feed somewhere. But
I will have a look, and I'll pop it up for our viewers onto when I upload this vlog. And can I ask, where do you normally buy your fabric from, or what was the last place you bought your fabric from?
So the last place I bought my fabric from was actually Bornella Fabrics.
Okay, I've seen them before.
Yeah, so I think I came across them from the Haystack pack actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was intending to make a tiered maxi skirt from an inspiration that I got from the Balkan catalogue, which is one of my favourite clothing brands. And the fabric that Tanya from Bornella had was just so similar to this skirt from Balkan. And so I bought it, and I still haven't made it because I've hardly done any sewing at all this year because my dog had 8 puppies in March. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It's a bit like me with my 8 children, except that I didn't have them all in one go.
Yeah, yes. Oh my word, yes, of course. So 8 children, 8 puppies. I mean, it feels so quiet now because they've all started. We've only got 2 left, the one we're keeping, and one that's going on Monday. But it's so quiet now. So hopefully I'm going to get a bit of sewing done soon.
Yeah. So you mentioned, are you a subscriber to the Inner Haystack, the packs that they do? Do you subscribe to them?
So we actually offer a discount on the feature pattern each month.
Oh, okay, excellent.
So
and how does one access that discount?
So if you're a Haystack subscriber, so if you buy the Haystack pack, as part of your monthly pack, you will get a discount code for printing the feature pattern from Fabulosa.
Excellent, lovely. I'll make a note of that in the description at the end of our vlog as well. And just to say thank you so much for sponsoring Selfless Sew April 22.
Oh yeah, that was really good. I didn't manage to sew anything. I almost sewed a little tiny dog coat because I was thinking of sending my whippets to their new homes with a little dog, a little fleecy, and I made one and put it on one of them, and all the others attacked him. so I sort of scrapped that idea.
Oh, what was it made of? Why did they attack him?
Oh, I think there were 8 of them, and they were just sort of constantly on top of each other and everything. And so to have something, a foreign object on one of them was just a bit too much. So
lovely. So now that most of the puppies have gone, do you have more time to sew?
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, I do still work full time, and my job's pretty busy. But I'm actually having a hip replacement on the 23rd of May.
Oh,
so my current project is actually making like a dressing gown that I can wear in hospital. So
are you drafting that yourself?
And I think no, I just bought the lavender robe actually from Alice & Co.
Okay, lavender robe, Alice & Co. I haven't heard of that one. I will check that out. Lovely. And what lovely fabric have you bought for that? Something silky, presumably, or satiny, or more, or no?
Well, no. I mean, I have had this. I've had this in my stash for a while, which is a bit crazy. It's like greyhound print. And so I love my whippets, and I love green. And so it sort of feels like that remind me of my dogs while
that's lovely.
While I'm having my hit them.
Talking about green, you're wearing a lovely outfit today. Please tell us what you're wearing.
Yeah, so this is my Chris Woods parasol dress. I mean, I've had this fabric for years actually. From when I sort of first started sewing, actually, it was like the most expensive fabric I bought, and so I was too scared to use it. I did actually. It's a zero waste pattern, and I did actually use every bit of it because I only had 1.5 meters, and I did get the full dress out of 1.5 meters with nothing left.
That's amazing. What zero pattern did you use again? Did you tell me?
It's the Chris Woods parasol dress.
Chris Woods parasol dress. I'll make a note of that because I was speaking to the owner of Fleurateurs, Kaylee. She loves zero waste dressmaking.
Oh yeah.
And she was just, I mean, this is all new to me. I mean, I'd heard about zero waste pattern dressmaking, but I haven't seen much about it. But she was just going into all the designers, and she was just loving it. And she just thought it's such a great way to use up fabric, especially if it's expensive fabric, so you don't have any waste. And so yeah, that's another sort of almost like a new movement as well in the sewing community, isn't it? Trying to sort of cut down on like fabric wastes and things, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really good. John's often too busy to print something for me. And so to have something that actually I don't need any paper, and just sort of cut it out is really handy actually.
So is that kind of what zero patterns are? They kind of just give you measurements, because presumably it's mainly triangles with sort of cinching in at the waist or what have you. Is that what it is?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, they you take key measurements that they tell you. So it's usually sort of above the bust, under the bust, you know, the length, or shoulder width, something like that. And it tells you what size rectangles mainly to cut. It's so clever.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. You know, a whole different sort of skill for drafting something like that, I imagine. Yeah,
I'm really going to have
clever.
to give it a go. I would really love to give that zero waist thing a go, because I'm actually recently loving sort of more less fitted outfits, sort of like wilder gowny, you know, that kind of thing. So I think zero waist patterns, I might give it a go and see if I like it. So talking about patterns, do you have a favorite pattern that you keep going back to, or do you sort of just make a pattern and then move on?
Probably made things from the Marilla Walker Roberts collection more than anything actually, and so it's so versatile, and you can make like dungarees, jumpsuit, top, a dress, you know, like a pinafore dress, and it's just, yeah, I've just used it so many times and I just really like the shape of it. Yeah, so I'd say that's probably my favorite pattern, given that I've made it quite a few times.
Lovely. And can I ask, when you're sewing, do you sort of watch any vlogs while you're sewing, or do you listen to a podcast or anything? What keeps you company whilst you're sewing, or do you like it silent, as it were?
I usually have a podcast or a vlog on. So yeah, I like watching vlogs, or I have to confess, I haven't come across yours yet, and so that is when I'm having my hip done, that's one of the things that I'm definitely going to do, catch up, because I haven't watched any sewing vlogs well, gosh, since February really.
Yeah.
So I've got loads to catch up on, but
yeah, I find them.
I mean, I do.
Sorry, go ahead.
I love Alex Judge sews, and Helen Stitch Whip Repeat, Cara So Mad, Ruan,
Ruan,
the Yorkshire Sew Girl. Yeah, gosh, I'm sure I've missed some wonderful ones. Yeah, Old French Seams, and yeah, just there's so many people, and Notes from the Sewing Room, and Sewing Bunny. I'll have missed someone really obvious, but there's so many really fabulous people out there that I really admire, and it's such a lot of work to do a vlog. I couldn't imagine doing it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks quite simple to sort of just talk in front of the camera and show your mates, but it does take a lot of time in terms of, well, first of all, you need to be sewing to actually have something to talk about. Second of all, you have to video it, then you have to edit it and everything else. So a lot goes into it, but I'm quite enjoying it at the moment. So yeah, we'll keep continuing on that path. But yes,
that's good.
I watch most of the vloggers that you watch, and I sort of put it on when I'm sewing, just to, and then like I'm sewing, and then if something interesting, I'll have a look and I'll stop and I'll watch. But for the most of the time, I am just sewing with them on in the background, and I find them really inspiring. And I love watching people's makes, their fabric hauls, and just getting to know them as well, sort of, isn't it? It's really nice.
It is. It's lovely, and I love a podcast as well. If I drive anywhere, I like listening to podcasts as well. Quite often, I'll put them on 125%. So I listen to them slightly faster.
And what does that do for you? Just
it just means I listen to more in less time.
That is really efficient. Well done. Amazing. Talking about makes and things, what was the last fabric you bought, and where did I ask you this question already, fabric wise?
Yeah, you do. Actually, I've got it here. Yeah, this is what I got from Bonella.
Oh, of course. And what is it? Is it a viscose? What is it?
I think it's a cotton lawn, actually.
Lovely. Yeah, lovely.
So
And what do you plan?
It's going to be quite. It's going to be quite lightweight. Well, it is lightweight, but this. So this is the Balkan catalogue that I really love their clothes.
I remember you saying, yeah.
Oh, there you go. What can you see there? Not a lot. Oh, there's the skirt.
Oh, skirt. Oh, how lovely. And what pattern are you going to use? Did you tell me that already as well?
Well, I'm
going to draft it yourself.
I've actually, I did a test run for So Frugal, out of some fabric that I've had for years, and I actually made it using a Stitch Sisters tutorial mainly.
I've heard of that one. No, yeah, that's very good. Excellent. So when do you think that will get sewn up? When you've got some free time?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to sew for a while when I have my hip done. So.
Of course, yeah. Can I ask, sort of, that's a lovely floral, that pattern. Are you normally attracted to florals, or do you like any other designs, or are there any sort of fabric designs that you don't like?
I don't normally go for florals.
Oh.
I do like plain fabrics a lot of the time. Yeah, plain is normally my thing. I can't resist a sight ham fabric. So anything with sight hams on, I'll be there. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, mostly black and green.
I'm kind of the opposite. I always quite like, I mean, I do wear plain fabrics, but I find with plain fabrics you see sort of more your lumps and bumps, or is that just me? I don't know. Once with sort of a print you can kind of camouflage that a bit, my opinion.
Yeah, no, I suppose you're right. Yeah.
But yeah. So how big is your fabric stash? Do you have quite a big fabric stash?
Yeah, I mean, I have got quite a few bits that I've accumulated over the years. I do prefer, though, to buy for a specific project, because I'll probably end up doing that anyway. If I'm going to make something special, I'll buy something special for it. So I may as well just buy as I go. That's the idea. But I have got some fabrics that I've just got, I must have that, I must have it, and it's still there, which is not really very sensible, is it? But you know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think lots of sewists have said this. You should really just buy for a project that you're going to start tomorrow, you know, because we just get distracted so much. Well, I personally get distracted. A new pattern comes out, or a new fabric that I've seen, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy that for this pattern, but it never gets done, and just the list gets higher and higher, and then I'm just ending up with a whole big fabric stash. I did do a de-stash recently, which was amazing. I think I sold like probably about 40 meters worth of fabric now, which is amazing. But yeah, wow. I think because I've had some pieces of fabric for years and I loved it at the time, but now I'm just thinking, well, I haven't used it in like 3 or 4 years. I think it's best to go to a new home. So can I ask, Heather, what does sewing mean to you?
Sometimes sometimes fabric is just sort of, I'm scared to use it because it's like too nice, and I'm just worried about making the wrong thing out of it or something, you know, and not doing it justice, and that's just crazy. Yeah. So I don't know, what does sewing mean to me? It means time to myself, and it's that creativity that I don't really get in my work. So yeah, it's that personal time and sense of achievement. I get such a sense of achievement when I do something, because I was really growing up, I was never crafty or anything. I just nothing ever worked for me.
Yes.
You know, I'd start learning to knit or, you know, make friendship bracelets or something, and it never worked out for me. And so the sense of achievement for being able to actually make something from start to finish is just enormous.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, hobby, sewing is just a hobby, but for me, it is me time, it's creative time. And kind of also for me, well, as a woman, me personally, I love shopping, looking nice in new clothes. And I think so, and being creative, and sewing encapsulates all of that, doesn't it? Because you get to shop for fabric and patterns and notions, then you get to make something, and then you get to wear something that looks not, well, I personally think that the things that I make, fits my body shape, it fits my style and my taste. I just think it's an amazing hobby to do, and I'm trying to pass it on to my girls. Some of my girls are enjoying sewing as well, which I think is great. Do any of your girls sew? Do you have three girls, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So again, during the pandemic, actually Lara, who's now 17, she started sewing face masks before face masks were a thing. And she sold them for £5 each. So this is before you could just get face masks anywhere. And she was selling them for £5 each, and she did really, really well. And she ended up buying herself a new bike. Then she did textiles for GCSE, and subsequently decided that sewing isn't really for her. So she wants to focus more on her studies. She wants to study medicine, and so she's working quite hard. And she also works as a lifeguard as well. So she does
must be so proud.
work a lot. yeah. So she has done some sewing. And the other two not so bothered really. So I think they're relieved when I'm shut away doing sewing, because I'm not asking them to do anything.
Yeah. Well, Heather, thank you so much for, giving us your time this evening. I think what you're offering actually from your company, it is unique, as I say. And I think more and more people should try it, because I've never tried it myself. So I'm definitely going to try your printing services. Thank you very much, Heather, for joining us. It was lovely talking to you. And hopefully when this vlog airs,
thank you for having me.
And hopefully when this vlog airs, hopefully you'll get some new customers trying out your unique lightweight pattern printing service. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you again, Heather. Bye-bye.